football. The running with the ball is what distinguishes football. The running game is the heart of football. This is what I believe, and believe strongly. It is the running game that puts a team in position of command. It is the running game that makes the passing game go. There is satisfaction, of course, in a perfectly executed pass play. But the satisfaction that is derived from the perfectly executed running play is supreme. For the running play demands the coordination of everyone, the cohesion of all 11 men. Now let's look at our running game, starting with the running back and his stance. In the running back stance, the feet are straight ahead and parallel. The toe of the rear foot is opposite the arch of the forward foot. The weight is on the balls of the feet and balanced. The fingers of the down hand are extended and touch the ground lightly to form with the 2 feet a tripod. The shoulders are squared with the back parallel to the ground. The head is up without tension. The eyes looking straight ahead and not necessarily at the area to which the back is going to run. At the handoff, the inside arm is back and out of the way. The outside forearm is forward and parallel to the ground with the outside stop hand open, fingers extended, and now the eyes are on the hole. The responsibility for placing the ball is the quarterback's, as here. Now let's discuss some plays that have been the nucleus, the bread and butter of my running game and will continue to be. First of all, let's recognize the red formation. I mean by that the fullback, who ordinarily lines up in a fullback position, which is directly behind the center and the quarterback in an area here, is now moved over to a position that is ordinarily taken by a halfback, split backs. We refer to this as our red formation. Let's start with the veer play, which is really a takeoff of the dive play, which of course everyone is familiar with. In the veer play, the onside end drives the man over him. The onside tackle drives the man over him. None, the first man who is outside. The onside guard drives the man over him. The center has a choice here. He can make a call in which he will block back, down block, and the off guard can fold for the middle linebacker, or it can be both odd and both drive blocks in this position. The offside tackle, drive block. Usually you cut off a drive block and then a cut off, drive block and cut off by the offside end. With the fullback carrying the ball, he starts out just like he does on the drive play. In fact, he starts with his inside foot. Inside foot is the first one to move. If he moves on his inside foot, he gets the ball when his outside foot is advanced and his belly is wide open. The quarterback, who ordinarily on a dive play gains ground to make the handoff, on the veer play he comes almost straight back, and on the second step he makes that handoff and then goes around the ball carrier. The ball carrier, of course, veers inside into this hole. The important factor here is that on straight drive blocks, where the guard takes the man that's over him and the center takes the man that's over him, many times, if this guard will take the defensive tackle in the direction that he wants to go, that play will break back outside the guard. That's why we like the straight ahead block. The zone blocking is much more effective for us than the fall block is the one I diagrammed. That's why it's important for this block to hold, so this man can't fall off to the inside. That's why it's important for this man to make the cutoff so that linebacker can't fall back to the inside to stop that play. We do many things with this back. Great deal depending upon what we think the keys of the linebacker are. For example, we can bring him across, we can send him the opposite way, or we can dive him. For example, if the middle linebacker is keying the halfback, and as the halfback starting, he's moving to the outside, we'll send him across and then give it to the fullback back into that hole, which is now empty. If We feel that this linebacker has a quick key on that remaining back. For example, when he comes across, he leaves in the pursuit angle, then we'll send this back out this way to hold him, which makes that cutoff block that much easier to hold. Or, against some defenses, if the linebacker, for example, is here, we will dive him straight at him if he has the key on that halfback. This is a very effective play against the odd formation. In fact, that's what makes it one of the great plays. On the odd, any one of these odds, the blocking rules are exactly the same as they are for the even. Each one of these men, each one of these offensive men have the same blocking rules. Offensive onside end, man over him. Onside tackle, man over him or the first man to the outside. Onside guard, man over him or the first man to the outside. Center, man over him. Very important that the center realizes that the play, that he's the key blocker on the play when it is odd, because he must take this man in the direction that that defensive man wants to go so that the back can cut either side of the center. Man over him, none the linebacker. Man over him. Man over him. The same rules apply here. Very effective, very important that they make these blocks and make the cutoff or drive these men so the back again may cut outside or inside of them. Same rules down here all the way. Again, the center has the important block. Man over him, none the linebacker. Man over him, man over him. The back, as soon as he recognizes odd, which he must, as he lines up, when he knows it's odd, as he makes his veer play in here, he realizes that the center's going to block that man in the direction he wants to go, and if the man were to come here, the back cuts to his outside. If the man comes here, he cuts to the inside. That's why we like this play, because we don't care what that defense is, we're going to run it. And here's the fullback veer executed in a game. And that's the veer play. And now I'd like to discuss another formation, the Brown formation, in which the fullback is in his normal fullback position. Here's the veer in a game from the Brown formation. The quarterback reverses out, simulating the fullback toss weak. The fullback goes wide, as on the toss. Watch the right guard's drive block, the center's down block, and the left guard folding behind the center to take the middle linebacker. The off-tackle play is one of the oldest in football, reminiscent of the single wing days, but it remains a fundamental play that you must be able to execute and execute well. In discussing the off-tackle play, I want to employ a new teaching aid. We have programmed the off-tackle play into a computer, and now we'll see the animation. The flanker, who is in a near position, that is 5 to 8 yards split from his YN. He releases for the strong side safety. The YN down blocks on the first man to the inside. If the defensive end goes to the inside, he pulls off the double team block or the pinch block with his right tackle on that man and seals for the middle linebacker. The right tackle aims his head for the crotch of the defensive end and drives him. If that end has an inside charge, he makes the block with his left shoulder, allowing the YN, who is double teaming with him, to slide off and seal for the middle linebacker. If the end comes upfield, we use the double team block. The right guard drives and cuts off the man over him. The center cuts off the man over him. If there is no one over him, he drives offside. The offside guard and fullback work as a team in blocking on the strong side linebacker. The fullback moves up to get an inside-outside position and drives the first man outside the YN's block. The offside guard pulls onside behind the center, also driving the first man outside the YN's block. If the guard sees the fullback has the block on that linebacker, the guard turns up through the hole, looking to the outside halfback. The offside tackle against an odd man line pulls with the offside guard and cuts off the first man between himself and the center. Against an even man line, he cuts off the defensive end or linebacker, whoever has the inside responsibility. The offside end releases inside the offside linebacker, looking for the safety. The quarterback opens up to the left halfback and makes the handoff almost directly behind the center, being very careful not to force the left halfback too far from the line of scrimmage. The left halfback comes across parallel to the line of scrimmage and drives to the hole. There's an extra coaching point on this play, and that's for the center. It's sometimes called a look and see block. As you will visualize, if the center blocks back, there is a possibility that the middle linebacker will blitz through the hole and make the tackle behind the line of scrimmage. If the center, on the other hand, releases for the middle linebacker, it is possible for the defensive offside tackle to follow the play and make the tackle behind the line of scrimmage. So what we ask the center to do is to look and see. He hesitates slightly on the line of scrimmage. Actually, what he does, he reads the middle linebacker. If the middle linebacker goes for the hole, he blocks back on a defensive tackle. If the middle linebacker blitzes over him, he takes him, because now he knows that the defensive offside tackle has outside responsibility on the weak side. Now observe this off-tackle play. The fullback fakes up the middle here, but the blocking is the same at the hole. Observe the pinch block by the right tackle and the Y-end, and the long trap by the pulling left guard. This time the fullback leads and blocks the linebacker out, and the off guard goes through the hole and turns upfield. The habits that are formed on a practice field are the habits that the player will carry into a game and throughout a career. Therefore, every time that running back runs the ball, in practice, he must run it as close to perfection as possible. What is perfection in a running back? It depends on the back. Every back has his own natural way of running. Some shuffle, some pick up their knees. For obvious reasons, the back who has natural high knee action and great leg drive has the advantage. But if a runner tries to overemphasize picking up his knees, he will run in one place. All good running backs should have quick feet, however, no matter what the stride, for neither foot should be on the ground for longer than it takes the back to push off it. And when he is about to be tackled, the running back must make himself as compact as possible to save himself punishment and also to inflict it. It is much better to give than to receive. And a coaching point. We no longer teach our backs to run solely to that hole. They know, of course, where that hole is supposed to be, but we school them to run to daylight wherever it is. Now I want to give you another play that will break in a number of places, the strong side pitch out. Let's look at it in computer animation. The strong side pitch out is used when the strong side defensive end is slow, or when the strong side linebacker is holding up the Y end on his outside releases. It is a play that will break in a number of places. Its element of surprise is based on getting the ball out to a fast back led by a fast tackle. The flanker splits 10 to 12 yards from the Y-end and comes down the line of scrimmage and cracks back on the strong side linebacker just about when the strong side linebacker has pushed off the Y-end's outside release. If the Y-end has taken the linebacker, the flanker will turn upfield for the safety man. In other words, they switch assignments. The YN drives hard through the outside hip of the strong side linebacker and releases outside for the strong safety. A coaching point. When the YN feels that the linebacker is going to blitz, the YN will take the linebacker, trying to hook him, in which case the flanker will turn upfield and block the safety. The onside tackle pulls to the onside, and as soon as he passes the flanker, he turns upfield to maintain an inside-outside position on the strong side defensive halfback or cornerman to block him out. The onside guard pulls onside to cut off the defensive end. The center releases onside to cut off the middle linebacker. If that middle linebacker is gone, the center will fan back block close to the line of scrimmage. The offside guard, the offside tackle, and the offside end release inside the men over them to cross the field and try to get in front of the play. Try to get in front of the ball carrier. The offback runs a quick trap action trying to cut off the offside defensive tackle. The quarterback reverses and gives a quick pitch or flip to the fullback. The fullback loses a little bit of ground until he gets that ball. The idea is to get that ball to the fullback as quick as possible so he can look and run to daylight. The fullback toss weak is a special type of play designed to get the fullback to the outside on the weak side quickly. Should be run really against a defensive end who is playing rather tight, and also against a safety who is favoring the strong side of the formation or is lined up to the strength of the formation or the side to which the flanker is run. And the reason I say that about the safety, if you notice on this side we only have one blocker to the outside who must be used to crack back on the first inside linebacker, or the first linebacker to his inside. There's no one else, and as the guard pulls, he kicks out on the corner man. There's really no one who can get to this man if he were too far over. We do expect, however, the offside tackle to release and get across in front of that ball carrier as best he can. The offside YN also releases. But it's a play which gets the fullback outside quickly. It's a play which the fullback gets the ball very, very quickly from the quarterback and can turn up that field just as quickly as he has that ball. The technique here for the split end, the X end, is the crack back on the linebacker. One coaching point here, I think, which we should all be aware of, is that in any crackback, whether it be from the flanker or whether it be from the X end, that his first move is not at the man, but rather down the line of scrimmage, flat down the line of scrimmage. And the reason I say that, if this man were to come across to meet the play, he's in position to get him. If he were to move at him, directly at him, at where he was, and this man decided to penetrate, there's no way that the X end, the blocker, could recover to make that block. If he comes down flat and this man stays, he can always turn and go up the field to get him. The halfback and the tackle, these two men work as a unit, work as a team, exactly the same way as they did on the sweep. In other words, the tackle's rule is to drive the man over him, none to slam him or to release inside and seal for the middle linebacker. The halfback's rule is the first man outside the offensive left tackle in this case, none. In other words, if the tackle had taken him, he would go through and he would do the sealing. As we have it drawn here, is the halfback that has the block and the tackle is releasing. The onside guard pulls exactly as he does on the sweep and kicks out on the corner man. The center does the same thing as he does on the sweep. Does the same thing as he does on the sweep in that he makes the onside cutoff. The off guard cuts off and releases. Off tackle releases inside. YN releases inside. Now let's consider the quick trap. The quick trap is used usually when we're getting undue pressure upon a quarterback in a passing situation from one of the inside defensive people, or when the middle linebacker is playing quite deep, or when the middle linebacker leaves his position entirely. For example, if he lines up here in front of the fullback, we'll automatic to a quick trap in between the two defensive people here. It can be run to either one of the backs. It can be run from a red formation as we have here, or it could be run from the brown formation. It can be run from a brown formation with the fullback hitting right up in here. That's a quick trap. It can be run to the halfback with the halfback hitting in here. It can be run to the fullback when he's in a split position or in a red formation coming in this way. It's a play in which the center down blocks or drives back. The guard, the left guard in this case, pulls across and makes a quick trap using the quick trap technique as it was explained in the blocking reels. The guard over the man who is going to be trapped can do one of two things. He can pull in order to influence this man, or if it's a passing situation, he may sit back in a pass in this area, drawing this man into a quick move, and then, of course, moving out to help to keep this man from falling back into the play. The offensive tackle, the onside tackle in this case, pulls across and blocks on the middle linebacker. The off tackle seals. The off end seals. The onside end releases outside the linebacker, as he does on a pass, for the safety man, the flanker, for the halfback. This man, as we explained in the via play, can do many things, again, depending upon what we think the keys are back here for these linebackers. He could go across, he could lead this way, or he could come across this way, or he could go straight ahead. Any one of those particular maneuvers can be used. The quarterback uses a slice pivot. He opens up quickly. Just quickly, he opens up to the back who's going to be the ball carrier, in this case the halfback, and this halfback hits right in off the center's block. Off the center's block. Actually, the center's got to get a standoff block, and the guard who is doing the trapping must really get the drive block, using the same technique as was explained. This back goes either way. We like this play, too, because it's very, very effective against the odd as it is against the even. In fact, we automatic to it against the odd. It becomes the same play against the odd as the via play is. Everybody uses zone blocking, straight on blocking, and again the back cuts either side of the center's block. Watch the onside guard influence the tackle over him by passing him up to seal. The center takes the first man to his offside. The offside guard pulls and traps the defensive tackle, who has moved into the hole vacated by the onside guard, and the back runs to daylight. Now you're going to see what results when all 11 men on our offensive team are dedicated to the realization that any play, at any place, at any time, may go all the way if each man does his job. Watch the line come off the ball as one man. Watch the fullback spot the daylight and run to it. Watch the second effort of that back. And watch the downfield block of the split end, who makes a supreme effort to get in front of that ball carrier. That's the running game.